5 News at Noon starts now.
Right now at noon, we're taking a look at damage and flooding left behind by strong storms in parts of the river valley this morning. This flooding is still going on. These are pictures, well, videos viewers have shared with us today. This is from Laura and Sallisaw. You can see a lot of flooding there people are dealing with. Sequoia County Emergency Management posted on Facebook in the last hour saying many roads there are flooded, saying do not try to cross them. They say multiple cars have already stalled trying. That includes Golf Course Road 24650, Highway 17, 1040 and Badge Lee Road west of Highway 17, 1070 and Shirley, Drake Road, and Highway 141 east of South 59th Street. Those are just some of the roads that they've told us about so far today. But thank you for joining us for your 5 News at Noon. I'm Morgan Wrigley here with Stephen Elmore, who's been tracking these storms and is now tracking quite a bit of flooding as we've seen.
Yeah, so really the biggest update that we got this morning is that one of those flash flood warnings, the threat of damage was upgraded to that considerable level. That was for Sequoia County because around 4 up to 7 inches of rainfall has come down in that area so far. And if you're watching in Sequoia County right now, trying to get that latest information, the most up-to-date information that I want to give you is that more heavy rainfall is on the way. We've been tracking this out there in parts of Adair County, and this is moving directly south. So those areas that just had anywhere between 4 to 7 inches of rainfall, more than likely could see another inch, maybe even up close to 2 inches of rainfall here within the next 30 minutes to an hour. We've heard so far that they've evacuated that Boys and Girls Club there. There's lots of roads flooding as well. So if you're watching us there this afternoon, again, heavy rainfall is on the way once again. Across northwest Arkansas, some moderate rainfall right now. We do have that flash flood warning there on the county line shared with Delaware and Benton County there in Siloam Springs. Had some flooding reported there as well as some heavy rainfall came down in that area. Around 2 up to 3 inches of rainfall more than likely. Moderate rainfall continues scattered across northwest Arkansas and the river valley, but no other flash flood warnings as of right now for northwest Arkansas. Where a majority of that rainfall has come down as is going to be Sequoia County into Crawford, northern LaFleur, and Sebastian County. Here's a look at that heavy rainfall that's coming down in Stillwell into Adair County, eventually going to work directly south into parts of Sequoia County. Some more heavy rainfall on the way. You look from Franklin to Johnson, Logan, into Sebastian County. This is moderate rainfall right now, definitely not that heavy downpour. If there's one area that I'm slightly concerned about, it's going to be this right here, producing some more heavy rainfall for our friends there in Sequoia County. Let's show you what else is going on across the area. Fort Smith, get ready. Heavy downpour of some rain right now. One of those areas that typically has some flooding, more than likely having some minor flooding out there this afternoon as well. This is a map of showing you how much rainfall we've picked over the last 12 hours, and 2 things stand out to me. One, Delaware County and western Benton County. That red mark you see right there is anywhere between 3 up to 5 inches of rainfall that's come down, especially there in Delaware County. Now, where we've seen a lot of the flooding reports coming down to and where we've sent our crews out there this afternoon is in Sequoia County. That's where we've seen a lot of those reports coming down so far. Here's a look there in Delaware County, Siloam Springs specifically, in the Benton County is where you could find anywhere between 3 up to 5 inches of rainfall. Again, this has that flash flood warning as well, just west of Gentry, north of Siloam Springs. Anywhere in that red dot is more than likely where you'd find some flooding out there. You work a little bit further south, just outside of Prairie Grove in Westville, you could find anywhere between 2 up to 3 inches of rainfall as well in Washington County. But this is going to be the headline throughout the day today. This swath of heavy rainfall between Sequoia into northern LaFleur, even into Sebastian County, dumped about 3 up to 5 or higher amount of inches of rainfall since this morning. It was a heavy downfall of rain, and it didn't move very fast. It stayed over the same area for a long time. I tell you what, between Brent, Sallisaw area along Highway 59 and crossing over Interstate 40, more than likely that is where we're going to find a lot of that flooding out there this afternoon. You move over to parts of Sebastian County with that county line they share there with LaFleur County. You could find anywhere between 3 up to 4 inches of rainfall as well. Between Arcoma and Bacola, that was another heavy swath of some rainfall as well. Move a little bit further south there, just outside of Worcester, around 2 inches of rainfall. And we also received some reports just southwest of Ozark. You get to some low-lying areas there next to the river, and that's where we had some flooding as well, up to 3 inches of rainfall just since this morning. What you want to know right now is how much rainfalls do we still have left to go. We have several flash flood warnings scattered across parts of eastern Oklahoma and the river valley as of right now, and this is what we're expecting the rest of this afternoon. I think some heavy rainfall is going to come down in parts of Sequoia, parts of Crawford, parts of Sebastian, and parts of northern LaFleur as well. Once again, with that cell that we were tracking in Adair County as of right now. Scattered activity is going to continue at least to the early afternoon. By the time we get to the evening hours, most of that activity is going to be well south of I-40. By the time we get to this evening, most of that rainfall is done. We'll be watching out for some isolated thunderstorms moving out of southern Missouri late this evening, but they start to fall apart as they approach. So here's the good news. Outside of some scattered heavy showers that we're tracking right now, by the time we get to this evening, those rain chances start to really decrease, and hopefully that water can start to subside as well. But as of right now, we do have that flash flood warning scattered across eastern Oklahoma and parts of the river valley, and that threat has been upgraded to considerable. Best advice is to stay off the roads if you can avoid it. Please never drive through that flooded water, and also try to get to that higher elevation if you can, obviously during these flooding events.
All right, thank you, Stephen. And we'll mention, too, that we do have a crew headed to Sallisaw area right now where we know that the Boys and Girls Club is being evacuated there due to flooding. So 5 News reporter Bill Russell is headed there now. We hope to get to him later in the show, and definitely later today on your 5 News later this evening and online. We'll be keeping you updated there. And be sure to join us also over on 5 News Plus after the noon show at 12:35, as the weather team will be doing a live stream with the latest on the flash flooding here in the area. And also for more information on flooding, you can text the word flood to the number on your screen, 479-785-5000. We'll send you back a link to where you can find more information to stay up to date with all you need to know. Well, in central Texas, first responders and volunteers are still searching for victims in the devastating floods that killed more than 100 people, including at least 27 campers and counselors at Camp Mystic. Almost a dozen girls from the camp are still missing. CBS News' Karen Hua is in Kerrville, Texas, where questions are mounting about early warning systems and evacuation orders.
Rescue teams continue to search for anyone who might still be alive along the Guadalupe River in central Texas. They're using drones equipped with thermal sensors to try to spot any survivors.
I can assure you we will not stop until this mission is complete.
State and local officials are coming under scrutiny over the planning for storms as deadly as this one. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick told CBS that Texas could fund warning sirens, and he thinks legislators can take it up this month.
So had all those sirens going off, maybe that would spark people to say we have a massive disaster like 5 minutes away.
Hard-hit Kerr County is part of an area known as Flash Flood Alley, but it's never invested in a siren warning system.
Everyone would agree in hindsight, if we could go back and do it again, we would evacuate particularly those in the most vulnerable areas, the young children in the cabins closest to the water. We would remove them and get them to higher ground.
Along with the destruction here and crushing human loss, residents are also sharing stories of survival. With the Guadalupe River rising, Christian Fell says he struggled to find higher ground as the water rose all around him Friday morning.
I realized the window was broken, so I swam through the window, and I was standing on that meter box right there for the next 3 hours.
Among the rubble that used to be Camp Mystic, Fletcher Cordell searched for anything left behind by his 11-year-old daughter, Olivia.
She had her charm bracelet laid out, and she's been asking about that a lot.
Olivia survived the deadly flooding, rescued by helicopter. Cordell says she's only starting to process the disaster, and the bracelet is important to her.
I'll stay here as long as I can till it's, found, and if I don't find it, I'll come back.
Hundreds of girls were at Camp Mystic early Friday morning when the floodwaters started raging. About a dozen campers are still missing. Karen Hua, CBS News, Kerrville, Texas.
Well, Sheepdog Impact Assistance in Rogers is gearing up to deploy there to Texas. Sergeant Major Lance Nutt, Sheepdog CEO, says they already have a strong volunteer presence in Texas. Right now, team members are on the ground assessing damage and identifying needs, so additional crews can step in where they're needed most. Nutt says they'll be focused on supply deliveries to those impacted by the flooding. He adds the group will also provide behind-the-scenes support, including clearing roads and removing debris as needed to help first responders. The group will transition to cleanup efforts as things progress. Nutt says they don't wait to be asked to help, they just act. Well, Sergeant Major Nutt says word on the ground is that their crews there are currently overwhelmed with people wanting to help. He says later this week, going into the weekend, they'll begin ramping up their operations to help people get back on their feet. And right now, as we mentioned earlier, we are learning that the Sallisaw Boys and Girls Club is being evacuated due to flooding. And 5 News reporter Bo Russell, he's joining us live now from that area. And Bo, what are you seeing there?
Hey, yeah, I'm here in Sallisaw in Sequoyah County, Oklahoma, where right now there seems to be a break in the rain. But as we were driving in here, we got a National Weather Service emergency notice saying that don't drive anywhere unless you're trying to get somewhere safe. Now, there was an emergency notice put out saying that the Boys and Girls Club of Sallisaw is evacuating to the fire station here in Sallisaw. Now, I spoke to the emergency management director in the area who says this is just a precaution. So far, there's been some stalled cars, but no injuries reported. We're going to go ahead and talk to him just a bit here in an hour at 1 o'clock live on 5 News Plus. Until then, we're going to keep you updated. Right now, it's pretty calm, but again, a bunch of areas still on notice for some severe weather, especially Benton County on notice till 2 p.m. So just make sure you stay safe and we'll keep you updated.